Hello guys, the DB Grinder here, back at it again with another video, and this time I'm going to be going over the Team YCS Las Vegas, and obviously just looking at this pie chart very quickly, we can see that Fire King got 23 spots in Top Cut, Pure Snake Eye got 17, Voiceless Voice got 5, Rescue Ace got 1, Flu got 1, and Pearly got 1. So we can really see that, like, you know, these decks are, you know, starting to, you know, kind of die off. It's really becoming more of a Snake Eye meta, and then also, you know, people are still playing Voiceless Voice. There's actually a team of all Voiceless Voice that was able to get top cut in this tournament. This was the biggest 3v3 tournament ever. It had 1,674 duelists in it. That is insane. Also, I wonder if Europe ever gets a 3v3 YCS, how many people will enter that. I wish that they get a 3v3 event. That'd be sick. But yeah, just looking at the numbers, we saw Fire King, like, dominate over Pure Snake Eye before, but now we're seeing Pure Snake Eye just after every tournament, it just keeps going up. That's because, like, you know, people are realizing this deck is nice. It can play more non-engine than this deck. It doesn't lose to Duel and Lockbird as hard that people were playing a lot more of. I think that card's going to be, like, completely taken out of the main if people didn't already do that. But okay, we can see right here, looking at the numbers, we already went over, like, the top 16, but then top 8, we can see that Fire King went from 23 to 6. Like, most of the Fire King decks were kicked out in the top 16. And then Snake Eye converted pretty well from 17 to 11. Voiceless Voice, they all won top 16 and went on the top 8. Same with Rescue Ace and Flu. And then right here we can see that, you know, Rescue Ace Flu lost from top 8 to top 4. Most of the Voiceless people did too. You gotta remember that, you know, there was 3 Voiceless Voice people on one team. So, like, that's like a majority of these numbers here. And then it got kicked down to 1, which was on the Falagarala team. But we can see, like, Pure Snake Eye stayed up in numbers. And actually, you know, Pure Snake Eye, even going into the finals, was the more popular deck because there was one full team playing Pure Snake Eye. And then the winning team ended up playing 2 Fire King, 1 Pure. And we can see that here. But okay, going over the deck list now. So, yeah, Crystal Blanc and Hani. Well, I guess technically they play different deck lists, so we'll go over both of them. So this is Crystal Blanc's deck list. So going over it, you know, we see 3 Rock, 3 Ash, 3 Valor, 3 Imperm, 1 Droll, 1 Moonlit, playing the one-ofs. I'm guessing it's just for the cross-out that is there. And then also, you know, it's adding, like, more hand traps to the deck also, so, like, they're not, like, horrible cards or anything. But just to make the cross-out better, because more and more people are going to be main decking Moonlit going into this tournament, and Droll, you know, does hurt the Fire King build of the deck a little bit more than it does the Pure Snake Eye list. Playing 2 Kieran. I think 2 Kieran's becoming more and more standard, even with people upping the amount of Valor, Imperm, and, like, Moonlit. It seems a lot of people have just moved on to the 2 Kieran count. 3 Black Witch. Doesn't play Temple in the main deck, decides to side deck it. Yeah, so just wanted to be able to play through more hand traps early on. People are just trying to hand trap this deck early and try to end it. So, you know, normal summon Snake Eye Ash, Valor, Impermanent, Ash it or something. And then you're just like, okay, cool. Special summon Black Witch, attempt to keep playing. Nothing else is, like, that crazy in the main deck. I guess, like, you know, the crossout main deck's a little bit wild. No Temple in the main deck. Those are definitely things to note. No Talents in the main deck at all for the crossout. Decides to side deck the 1 Talents. We see Summon Limit. This card is just, like, it's definitely just the best going first card. You could say, like, oh, it loses the Cosmic, but, like, so does Anti-Spell. So does Solemn Strike. Like all those cards are going to be getting hit with Cosmic anyways. But Summon Limit's kind of just like an auto win. This card's broken. Like I said before, I think this card should definitely be hit, and so should Anti-Spell. Then we can see a Bestial Magma Mutt in the side deck. This was their 15th card. It's just good against, like, a couple different matchups, like Voiceless Voice, Branded. You can also set it in against Pure if you want to. You can ask, what are you searching with this? You can search Flamebird if you want to. It's not like a crazy search. But getting at the hand does work. You can get rid of it with, like, Black Witch, Island, or, you know, if it's in your hand, it does the same thing that it does in deck. You know, assuming that you searched it, right? Drawing this card's horrible, but if you're just searching it for free, like Ash summoning it from hand is the exact same thing as summoning it from deck, except, like, technically it takes, like, a deck thins you by 1, because you search during their end phase. They side in another Flamebird, so they pretty much just side into, like, Pure Snake Eye, which is honestly really cool. Because people are going to be siding in Droll, more Soul Release and stuff like that. And then you're able to kind of just, like, switch over to, like, a Pure Snake Eye strategy. I mean, you probably still keep the Fire King stuff in going first because of how strong it is. If it like fully resolves, but you still have like the pure option, which is nice. And then on to the next list. So this was Hani's list. So he didn't play these two cards in the deck. I don't know why they put them there. Because technically he did write down the wrong Kieran on his deck list. Because he actually won the YCS without playing the good Kieran in the deck, which is bonkers, by the way. Like, that is insane. But these were not on the deck list. Well, these weren't played. So those should not be there. But, it should be the exact same list as the last list that we just looked at, but, a little bit of a deck list error, which we've seen before. I mean, it's actually crazy, because this YCS was one with the deck list error. The Remote Duel YCS, we saw Reach YuGiOh win with 2 Bahamut Shark, no Zombie Vampire. Like, man, what do I gotta do? Next deck list is accidentally write down the wrong Snake Eye card? Like, is that what I need to do? Nah, I'm just playing, but it's actually just crazy. But okay, now we see Hyzam Jahari. So he played pure Snake Eye, even though his 2 teammates played like identical lists of the Fire King Snake Eye deck. So he played 1 Droll, 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 3 Moonlit, 3 Nib, 3 Imperm. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16 going second cards. And then 3 Crossout. Plays, 2 Flame Blurge, plays the Jet Synchron package to be able to synchro to build, like, the strong end boards. In the side deck, we see a Magma, a Jerusalem, a Baldric, and a Sornier. That can't be right. Well, like, obviously, like, that is what he played, but, like, that can't be right. Because, like, why would you play Sornier? Why wouldn't this just be, like, a different Bestial, right? Like, couldn't Sornier just be, like, a second Jerusalem or something? Like, the odds of you drawing, like, 2 Jerusalem are, like, extremely, extremely low. And then, like, Magma Mutt can search Baldric anyways. So, like, like, that could be the other one that you're searching instead of Sornier. I feel like that's just a little bit weird, to be honest. I feel like that was, not the greatest choice. I wonder if there's a different reasoning behind it that I'm not thinking of. Like, I doubt it's because Crossout. I doubt it's because of Crossout. Maybe, though. But I kind of doubt that. Okay, then we got Summon Limit Talons called by... Yeah, nothing else that crazy. On to the next set of lists now. So that was the first place. Now we have second place. All 3 of them played the exact same list, which I can highly respect. So this was, Pax, Hansel's, and Team Sam's list. So the most interesting thing from their list is the 3 Lullaby of Obedience. I think we can all agree that's like the coolest thing on the deck list. Which honestly, that card's pretty sick, right? Because you can use it to call like Black Witch, and they're gonna add it to your hand. You can just summon it. You can call Poplar. If they add it to your hand, you can summon it. If they summon it to your field, cool, it's already on field. But also, there's other things that you can do with it too. You can grab like Ash Blossom, and if they decide to like summon it to your field, then you can link off with it, and it goes to their graveyard. So like you can do stuff with that, or the classic Lullaby of Obedience move. If you can do it, which I doubt it came up like too often, but if you can fill up your entire board, like 5 monsters, you can activate Lullaby of Obedience and just call Ash Blossom, and then it gets added to your hand. Because obviously they can't summon it because there's no zone to summon it to. We see Sky Crisis. That card's probably going to become more popular. Everyone's on like an insane amount of hand traps right now, so you do get stopped. And then being able to like summon Sky Crisis to, like beat over the field is nice. Definitely can come up. Then side deck, we see tons of Bestials. Magma Mutt, Sornier, Baldric, 2 Druisworm. Again with the Sornier. It's so weird to me. Like, I feel like you would just play 2 Baldric, right? Especially with that amount of Bestials, and you play Rock in the deck. I don't know. I feel like, is there something with Sornier that I'm just not seeing? Or is it really just like, if you play 2 different Bestials, the odds of you drawing 2 one-ofs is like 0% chance. Like, you're not going to draw 2 Sornier if you only play 1. You're not going to draw 2 Baldric if you only play 1. But, like, I don't know, man. I feel like it probably should just be, like, 2 Baldric. Like, 2 of the better one, right? But again, maybe I'm just behind. Maybe I'm just behind. Simple as that. Now we got 2 dudes. They were playing, well, I guess it's like 3 people. But they played Fire King Snake Eye. Their list isn't out. We got G-Nets on Pure Snake Eye, Paulo on Pure Snake Eye, And then Michelle on the voiceless voice deck. This was the player that won the YCS with the McAnko strategy not too long ago. So it's cool to see them, go from like a McAnko deck to a voiceless voice deck, so still kind of rocking like, not the quote unquote best deck. So I hope that their deck list gets revealed. We can see like this team all played pure Snake Eye, very good team. Cam the Man, Neo, Urena, Walter, Jewel, the director. Then now we have the team of Voiceless Voice, and they did reveal all 3 of their lists. And you can see right here that the price points are all different for the deck list, so we can see that they're at least a little bit different. So we can see the Dogmatic of Voiceless Voice, okay. So they played Diviner and they played Natter's Servant. They played 42 cards, so they wanted more consistency. We saw this deck brick a lot over the weekend, so maybe having like the extra consistency is what they felt like they needed. And then also Natter's Servant is good going second. And also more and more people were cutting Duel from their decks, like from their main deck at least, or playing like one copy of it for crossout because they were afraid of more pure Snake Eye. So maybe even moving further on into future events, this card just becomes better, and better. But we can see they played the Odd Eyes, Pendulum, Stararvis, 2 Skull Guardian. Then, pretty standard engine stuff. Nothing really crazy. Main deck Schism. Okay, so decided the main deck Schism. A lot of people who played the Natter's Servant package were side decking the Schism, but they decided to main deck it. So main decking the Schism and the Diviner package. I guess, hold on, before I judge this list anymore. Okay, so for the Odd Eyes package with their Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph, the people to attack 3 times. Is this the Tri-Brigade link? Okay, it is the Tri-Brigade link. It just looks a little bit weird from right there. Then we got Ash Blossom in the side, Summon Limit, Cosmic Soul Release, Ultimate Slayer, Bell, looking, 1 SP, 1 Dino Mondo. Yeah, their extract's obviously a lot more tight in this build than like a regular build. Okay, before I judge that list anymore, I want to look at the other list quickly. So you see this build played Super Poly. Also, I think that's cool that, they played a little bit of a different list because, if this player goes Prosperity, reveals Super Poly, then he's going to tell, his opponent is going to tell the other opponents, hey, watch out for Super Poly, play around it. And then this player is just going to be like, tee-hee, I don't play Super Poly, haha, you're playing around a card I don't play, haha. We got Ash Blossom, Nib, Imperm, Super Poly, ton, all the Super Poly targets, all of them. 2 SP, 2 Dino Mondo. Okay, and then we have this list, which played Ash in the main role, Nib, Super Poly, no Imperm in the main. Okay, so they decided to, wow, they really all just came up with some different ideas. No Imperm is crazy. No Imperm is crazy. That card's nice. It dodges Called By, dodges the Talents, it hits Snake Eye Ash, besides the main deck Droll though instead. We see Talents in the main deck. The other players need, this player actually main deck 3 Talents. Oh, my bad. Side decks the Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph. This player doesn't. I don't even know. I was thinking originally maybe the lists were just a little bit different for strategic reasons, but maybe they just actually all came to different conclusions on the deck. But what I want to talk about with this player is, this player's list does have some more bad cards in it, has more consistency in it though. But I think a list like this in a 3v3, you can have 2 teammates that are playing just standard, pretty much standard lists. Then have one teammate that plays a list like Natter's Servant, Maximus, Schism in the main deck, Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph in the main deck, a very strong going first deck, but can still go second, because it is a 3v3, right? So, kind of have one player. I don't want to say a high roll deck, because this isn't a complete high roll deck, but, a player that does have some more high roll type cards in their deck. Definitely works better in a 3v3, so I wonder if they had thought that out before the event. I'm not sure though. And then we have Jose, who was playing Fire King Snake Eye, Kamal and Ruben, who were playing Pure Snake Eye. Looking at their list, a little bit different here. So we have, Kamal and Ruben were the people who won the YCS Costa Rica last weekend. So we have, yeah, just pure Snake Eye. Plays Birch in the main deck. Jet Synchron in the main deck. 3 Ash, 2 Droll, 2 Veiler, 1 Moonlit, 3 Nib, 3 Imperm, 1 Talons. Plays Crossout. Okay, so Crossout can really hit like everything. 40 cards. Side deck, we see the side frame stuff. Some Bestial cards. Okay. I mean, we might end up seeing the side frame stuff actually get more popular after this event too. Because people won't be able to cross out the side frame cards, like, ever, right? You're not going to side in, like, Gamma, Delta going first. So it dodges the cross out, dodges the called by. You can also, like, Delta the cross out if they try to stop you. And people's decks are now playing less engine compared to before, it feels like. It feels like now they're playing more non-engine. So if you're able to hand trap them and stop their engine, that's pretty strong, and something like Gamma is like huge at stopping engine. Like normal summon out Snake Eye Ash, special summon Black Witch, Bonfire in the Ash, Wanted in the Black Witch, and then you drop Gamma on that. Like that can be huge. And then also like, you know, having just more hand traps can be nice. So I think the side frames might actually end up becoming more popular very shortly. So what's the difference between their lists? Okay, so they play 3 Delta. Literally the only difference is they play 3 Delta and 1 Druid Swarm. Okay. Fair enough. Not really that big of a difference. I guess they just wanted the more side frames in the deck. And then, yeah, I guess it depends like what their siding patterns are exactly. But maybe they just take out like a different hand trap or something and then put the Delta in. But now we see Rescue Ace. Oh, Rescue Ace is $1,248. That is crazy. So we have Rescue Ace, Flu, and Voiceless Voice. So looking at the Rescue Ace list, we can see 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 3 Nib, 3 Imperm, 2 Talons. And then side deck, we see a Pankratops, some Bestials, a Bald, 3 Bestials, Scattershot, Sprint for time, Strike is there. Strike! I don't know, Strike's a little bit wild in this deck. I guess the thing is, you don't really need Judgment because nobody's on Lightning Storm, nobody's on Harpy's Feather Duster, nobody's on Evenly. People really aren't respecting back row right now, so you really don't need Judgment. So I guess I can kind of see Strike. I don't know, maybe I'd probably rather prefer like a Summon Limit or maybe like an anti-spell in this deck, but Strike it's not bad. It's not bad. Okay. See anything else weird in this list? We play the World Sea package in the deck. That's something to note. But okay, yeah, we saw this player on stream. They cooked. I'm not even gonna lie. They cooked. So now we see Fluanderies. God, yes. So we see a 3 shifter, 2 evenly, 2 throw. Okay, yes. Okay, I know I just said no one's playing evenly. Okay, it's different with Flu. Okay, this deck is not most of the other decks, because this deck can play Harpies, Lightning Storm, evenly. They have Duality, Prosperity, Extravagance, Thrust. They have tons of ways to get to the cards also. But 2 evenly, 2 Thrust, 1 Talents, 1 Dark Ruler, 2 D-Fissure, 3 Shifter. Also, just to throw it out there, this is the player that got top 4 at the NAWCQ 2022 with Fluanderies. So they're definitely not just like, you know, the average Flu player who like doesn't know what they're doing, right? Like obviously this player at least knows what they're doing. They played 2 Ostrich. Didn't play the new card. The new, like, Adventure, which is, that card's weird, because it's going to end up being, like, map, where, like, you just don't have anything that works with it, and then your hand's just bricking on these cards that need the birds, and then you don't have any birds. You know what they say, like, bird is the word. If you don't have the bird, then you just lose. But, I don't know, like, there's so many Imperms and Veilers running around that, like, may have helped out. Yeah, extra deck. I mean, there's no point of really talking about it too much. They have like the Maximus dumps too here, just in case it comes up, which is fair. I think I would also just play those. Harpy's Featherstorm for going first. D-Fissure. Yeah, okay. Nothing too crazy about this deck list. I guess like the 2 Ostrich. Yeah, nothing like too crazy. And then we see a Voiceless Voice deck list. That was also on that team. That was a wild team, by the way. Rescue Ace, Flu, and Voiceless Voice. So no Snake Eye anywhere on the team. Actually, they may have been the only team in Top Cut that didn't have that, besides the like team of full Voiceless Voice. But Looking at this list, we see 2 Cerberus, 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 3 Droll, 3 Nib, 3 Imperm, 15 hand traps, assigned to play 42 cards. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's like a pretty much like a standard voiceless voice deck, and they just added a couple more cards in to have more hand traps. Side deck summon limit. Actually has like the side deck back row removal, Dino Mondo, the Charmers and the Celine, access code. Okay, yeah, the list looks good for sure. That voiceless voice list looks like fairly similar to what like my voiceless voice list was looking like. But I guess like most voiceless voice lists look pretty similar, right? Like there's not too much of a difference. I was playing Natty's Servant though, but looking at the top 16 list, we have Diabellster, Snake Eye, Fire King. I hate it when I say the name of the deck because it's not a Diabellster deck, gosh darn it. But okay. Looking at the deck, 2 Black Witch, 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 3 Droll, 3 Nib, 3 Imperm, plays Monster Reborn, Talents. A lot of people have been cutting Monster Reborn. Okay, Temple in the deck. Side deck's the Spooky Dogwood, Droplet, Cosmic, Crossout, Anti-Spell. Plays the Doolittle, Chimera. We've seen a lot of people also just not play that. That pack which was like definitely hyped up at some point, but a lot of people have just decided to not play it. Underworld Goddess. Okay. Next deck list, we have a Snake Eye Fire King deck list. It's just the same deck. Yeah, okay, that's literally the same deck, except there's like one 50-cent card difference. Alright, I'm committed. What's the 50-cent card difference? Let's drag this over. Okay, let me just do this. Okay. Okay, so they played Bell over Spooky Dogwood. Alright, cool. And then, so maybe they play faster, right? Spooky Dogwood is good, like, if you take a while on your combo, but maybe they just play faster, so they just don't need it as often. But we have Ash, Bell, Veiler, Droll, Nib, Imperm, Talents. Okay. Plays 3 per Lily. Looking at the rest of the deck, Spooky Dogwood, D-Fissure. Yeah, Spooky Dogwood in this deck is fair enough. People do not scoop against Pearly when they are supposed to. Ever. Like, if I have a Noir on my field with 9 materials and you're on 1 card, please scoop. Like, okay, here's the thing. Is like, technically, it's, like, fair enough if you don't scoop, because Pearly doesn't have a way to win in time, and they're actually bad in time. So if you don't scoop, it's like, yeah, fair enough. Like, I get it. Your deck's better in time than my deck. I also probably wouldn't admit defeat. I would also set a monster and pass. But, yeah, it just comes up sometimes. But, you know, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 19 non-engine cards in the deck list. Oh, it doesn't play Pot of Prosperity. Okay. On to the next deck list now. We only have 1 deck list from Casino after. So looking at it, 3 Black Witch, Temple in the main deck, Asphalt, 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 3 Nib, 3 Imperm, 3 Talons. Okay, it plays a Gave Dragon in the side deck, so it actually has like a true way to win in time. I mean, you know, Spooky Dogwood is a way to win in time, but it's not like a guaranteed hit. Like, this card's in your extra deck 100% of the time you set it in. You'll have access to it. Okay, 2 Crossout on the side, Droplet. Looking at the next list now. Okay, so we have Fire King Snake Eye, Fire King Snake Eye. So we can see the 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 3 Nib, 3 Imperm, 1 Droll, 1 Talents, 3 Crossout. So kind of like how the winning list did, except they play a Talents instead of Moonlit. They also have Spooky Dogwood on the side, the Side Frames, a Gave Dragon, Summon Limit, Cosmic. Okay. I mean, we can kind of just go through some of these Snake Eye and Fire King lists rather quickly. There's not too many interesting things besides some of them, like Ghost Ogre, Subversion, Foolish Return. Foolish Return, I don't think this card's real. I feel like you should just play Bestials instead of that. It works against more matchups like Voiceless Voice, and it also hits Branded turn 1, and Magnumlet's broken. Like, Magnumlet converts into another Bestial for your turn, so you're hitting the graveyard twice. Ghost Ogre for, like, Voiceless Voice and stuff, which actually, you know, was, like, the 3rd most represented deck in the top cut. They play 2 original, Monster Reborn, the Magician's Souls. They play Birch, double Oak in the deck list. Okay, wait, 3, 6... 9, 12, 13 hand trap. Huh. Okay, so they put a little bit less going second cards than other people do, and they don't side in any, like, generic hand traps. Interesting. Now we have a Fire King Snake Eye deck. They actually played the XYZ in their extra deck. The Foolish Return, Ghost Ogres, 3 Kieran, Crossout in main. Okay. Now we have, gotta go past this team. This team, this is a good team right here, but none of their deck lists were posted. We got Calvin Chow's deck list on Team Squiddy. So looking at it seems like, okay, it seems fairly standard. 3 Rock, 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 3 Imperm, 3 Talons, Temple in the main deck. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, this was the team that was playing Typhoon in their side deck. So, not 100% sure what that's for. I guess it can hit, like, Fire King Snake Eye when they're not prepared for it. It can hit Voiceless Voice. It's definitely, like, the most interesting hand trap that we've seen in people's deck lists this weekend. Summon Limit. I guess I gotta put more thought into this card and think about it more. Now we got True Roof with, Adrian Goncalves, Santiago Goncalves. Shout out to them. So we have Adrian's list. I already know it's going to be wild. So we got 1 Magician Souls, 1 Birch. We play Synchro Package, 3 Ash, 3 Nib, 2 Veiler, 2 Droll, 2 Talons, 1 Crossout. 1 Crossout in the main, Twin Twister in the side. I already knew it was going to be crazy. Adrian's wild. We got 1 Formula, 1 Baron, doesn't play Savage in the deck. Okay. I mean, that's it. It's like fair, right? Side deck's Hida. Oh, but main. Okay, so we have a second Hida in the side deck. Has Kurikara there for like every deck that's not fire. Bestials in the side. 1 Lightning Storm, 1 Heart Piece, 3 Mind Control, Change of Heart. Yeah, Adrian's wild. He's very good at. He's very good. Like, his gameplay is excellent. So he's also been playing for a while. Like this deck. Because I remember him running money matches with this deck like a month ago. So definitely was preparing for this tournament way before it happened. And then we see Santiago's list, Subversion in the side, Twin Twister in the side, Bestials, Phantasme. Magma can also grab Phantasme. And then if they IP, 3 Kieran in the deck. 3 Ash Walsum, 3 Nib, 3 Veiler, 3 Imperm, 1 Talon. So cuts down on the non-engine, decides to play a clean 40 cards with Temple. Okay, and that is it for all the known deck lists that are out right now. So, obviously we're in a tier 0 format. Like, if you look at this, there were 40 Snake Eye type decks, and then 8 non-Snake Eye decks. And this was also a 3v3, so if this wasn't a 3v3, who knows, maybe we would have even seen more Snake Eye representation. But this is obviously a lot of representation. I mean, this is like over 75%, right? This is like 80% at least. I don't know the exact math off the top of my head, but that is a huge representation of the deck. People are calling for an E-ban on this deck. I don't think the deck should get E-ban. I think E-bans are very bad for the game, because imagine you spend $1,000 on a deck, like literally $1,200 on the deck, and then the deck just gets absolutely, boom, slaughtered instantly. Like, that's just not a good look for people who are trying to pick up cards. We're due for a ban list in like 1 month anyways. Also, people are wanting this deck to like truly get slaughtered. I think just like an original ban would be good. It definitely would hurt the deck. It makes people not be able to play Jet Synchro on. It definitely hurts the Snake Eye package itself, makes it weaker. It also makes it to where, a deck like Rescue Ace can't splash it. It makes it to where the Fire King deck is no longer a thing, because if you can't go Snake Eye and the Fire King, you're just going to cut the Fire King cards, so then it's only going to be pure Snake Eye. And the deck's obviously going to be a little bit easier to hand trap also. So I think just an original ban would be good. I don't think we need to like do some hits I've seen people see, like hit Flameburge to 0, Wanted to 1. I don't think we should do that. I think we should just hit original and see how the deck goes from there. Or maybe even less of a hit. Like original maybe even too deep. I don't know. Maybe just less of a hit. I like to see it when decks get hit, but not completely slaughtered, and see what they change into. Kind of like tier limit throughout its formats, or kind of like Pepe when that emergency ban list, how that happened, stuff like that, or like Zodiac. I don't know. There's so many formats I like where the decks get hit, and then they have to like change what they do a little bit. I like how that is. But alright, I'm gonna stop yapping here. I'm going to leave a link to this down below at the very top of the description if you want to go ahead and check this out yourself. I'll probably have more decks up on here within the next couple days. And the DB Grinder signing off. Peace. Have a nice day. Stay safe.